Go ahead and tell us your name for everybody watching.
My name is Edwin Hubble, and thank you for having me today.
And tell us a little bit about your project.
So with my project, it basically sprung from me having my suspicions about a certain patch of light. This patch of light was referred to by many as the Andromeda Nebula. I set out to explore my curiosities on this patch of light, and what I found about it was actually quite interesting. I would soon discover and prove that this was not just an ordinary patch of light like everyone had assumed. It was actually a whole separate galaxy.
So what were you guys trying to do, or what were you guys trying to find?
I was one of the first people to recognize the fact that our universe, the Milky Way, is not a sole universe. It is, in fact, accompanied by other galaxies located outside the boundaries of our own. This led us to want to observe the more galaxies and find out more information about them. Using what we called a galaxy's red shift, which is when we used the light spectrum to make certain observations about various galaxies surrounding the Milky Way. It became quite evident to us when doing this that the galaxies that were the farthest away were also moving away at the fastest rate as compared to the galaxies that were more near. This also led us to being able to calculate eventually how far a galaxy was actually from ours, the Milky Way.
So where did this project or this experiment occur?
The experiment actually took place in Mount Wilson, California. Although I had actually begun much of my work at Yerkes Observatory near Chicago, where I was doing my PhD, the Hooker telescope in Mount Wilson was the piece that I needed to lead me to such a great observation.
So what other significant events were happening around the same time?
This galactic observation took place around the 1920s. A major event happening around that time was World War I. That's kind of what everyone was talking about, what was going on, just the biggest thing in the news at the time. World War I actually played a pretty important role in this discovery. World War I was in fact what brought me to Mount Wilson to begin with. I had enlisted in the infantry, you see, and after some time I actually ended up being stationed at Mount Wilson. So after being at Mount Wilson, this is what gave me the tools I needed, the telescope, to do such a great discovery. Another big thing that was happening at this time was that women began to get the right to vote in the United States.
So who else was involved with this project?
Supporting evidence for this project came from Vesto Slipher. He worked at Lowell Observatory in Arizona. With the help of someone known as Milton Humanson, we were able to build upon this supporting evidence with our access to the Hooker telescope previously mentioned before.
And what was your specific role in the project?
My role in the project was pretty great. I would consider myself the lead investigator that made the project what it is mainly known for today. It was my curiosity that with the help of others in the application process was able to prove that there were other galaxies other than our own, and even come up with an awesome law known to determine exactly how far these galaxies were away from our own Milky Way.
And what impact did your project have on the physics community as a whole?
My project impacted the physics community pretty greatly. My project helped the community have a better understanding of our expanding universe by introducing the different galaxies. My project is discussed in all physics classes to date, and an important law known as the Hubble's Law, well, now renamed as of 2018, the Hubble-Lemaître Law, was even named after me. One very important piece of astrological equipment known as the Hubble Space Telescope bears my name due to my contributions to the physics community.
And what is an accomplishment outside of the physics community that you are the most proud of?
Most know me just for my work inside the physics community, but I did actually branch out outside of the physics community. I was very versified in Spanish, and this actually led me to teach at Albany High School in Indiana for a year. Now, it may have been just a year, but I actually got to educate children on math, physics, and Spanish, which was really an interesting experience to get to do. But what I'm the most proud of, and was a most interesting moment for me, is my year that I got to coach. While I was there, I also got to coach a basketball team at Albany High School. The place went undefeated all the way up to the state tournament, and although they did not place first in the tournament, I'm proud to say they brought home a very proud third place, and the members and I both brought home many lessons and memories that I know I and they both cherish for a long lifetime.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.